Hello, readers and friends. Today is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Thank you for joining me today for my last actual live chat with you for a while. We'll be back in the States the end of October, and we'll be picking up the live chats then. So what's been happening? Well, you can imagine it's kind of crazy. I've written several live chats in the last 48 hours that we will pre-record in the next day or two. We'll be interspersing the new ones with some reruns while we're on our trip. I have a pristine notebook tucked into my bag to jot down thoughts, people I've met, places I've been, either with AC or alone. And I'll have lots of stories to share when we get back. Right now I'm finishing up the chat for tomorrow. This one, mine is a bit fried. I feel a little lightheaded, not quite grounded. Writing always requires my imagination, whether I'm writing my weekly talks, my Walkerville Desire series, or my women's novels. However, there is a difference for me about writing my books versus writing on command, that is, the Wednesday chats. On Wednesday, I'm aware that I'm behind the wheel of my car. I've got a tank of gas, my brakes are fine, there's lots of windshield cleaner, and my sat-nav works. I just have to figure out where I'm going, what the best route is, and what I will do when I get there. When I'm writing my books, I lose myself for a few hours in another country, town, another life. Or I'm visited by my characters who tell me their stories. Or sometimes I follow them around taking notes about their lives. And sometimes I hear a word and I'm off in my imagination. What a gift. The other big difference is that my live chats require to be present while my books are character driven. Writing the Wednesday chats is vulnerable for me. I'm giving away pieces of myself to an audience that may or may not even be there. I may be talking to no one, laboriously writing the truth, telling my personal stories, sharing something that's on my heart, something I may be obsessing about, maybe even a secret. And this all may be for naught because there may be no one listening. AC and I have been doing these live chats for a year. Last August 2021, I started with reading from my Walkerville Desire series 5 nights a week at 11 p.m. Go figure. AC figured out how to get this on YouTube. He purchased mini Klieg lights with a special mic with several different holders depending on the neckline of my top. I mean, who knew? I didn't. I just got this idea of doing these readings. Then after a month and burning out, we went to 3 days a week, and then it became more manageable on just Wednesdays. A year into this, I've learned a lot about myself. I'm sharing more about my process or something that interests me. Speaking in front of a group is not scary for me. I've had plenty of practice in my career, and talking in meetings has been invaluable. Now, thank you for listening to me rant about my process as a writer and the two types of writing I find myself doing. I'm guessing there may be more about this in the future. But moving ahead for the big reveal, we're leaving on Sunday afternoon and we're landing at Heathrow Airport in what will be for us the wee hours of Monday morning. But with the time difference, it will actually be mid-afternoon Monday in the UK. And then we're getting on another plane to fly to Edinburgh, which is going to be our home base for the next 7 weeks. And then we're going to spend the 8th week of our journey back in England. Now, did you get all that? In a bittersweet way, this is very likely AC's last trip abroad. He's lived with the cancer since 2000, with several healthy periods of remission, plus the last few years with new medications. And while they kick his patootie, he gets up every day despite the aches and pains, the constant nausea, and the chronic stomach irritation. He is someone who is naturally upbeat and positive, although sometimes he does feel a bit down. We have agreed that there will be times when I'll be doing my thing while he stays at our accommodations resting. We did that in 2018. I'd explore around the meadows in Marchmont or up the Royal Mile or on the levee in Plasac while he hung out at the B&B or at a coffee house. AC and I have accepted this reality. I know there's more about this. Moving forward about the trip, we're leaving in just 5 days. Yikes. I'm grateful that we are returning to Edinburgh with side trips back to New Slains Castle, the Highlands, and spending more time in Glasgow. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the world's largest arts festival that spans over 3 weeks in the month of August. It has been happening since 1947, with the exception of the COVID shutdown. One of the items on my to-do list has always been to see the Royal Tattoo, the Bagpipers. We're arriving in Edinburgh the last week of the Fringe Festival, and we'll see a play called Finding Anne Frank. And my friend has invited us to meet the actor-writer Prudence Holmes. I'm excited about that. And we're also seeing the Royal Tattoo at Edinburgh Castle that next Saturday night this week. Whoa, wow, next Saturday night. And this time we've added Northern Ireland as well as the Republic of Ireland. As a fangirl, I've wanted to go to Bangor and Belfast, Northern Ireland since we came back in 2018. In Bangor, we'll enjoy a special night of music that I'm so looking forward to. We'll have a few days to explore around there, and I want to see the murals in Derry. I want to walk the beach on the North Sea and see the waterfalls at Crawfordsburn. Belfast has had a Friday market at its St. George site since 1604. I've been in contact with the gal who has a stall there. Her specialty is Northern Ireland t-shirts. She promises to hold an XXL for me as I like to wear them as nightshirts. I have always wanted to see the meeting on the turret stairs, a watercolor painted in 1864 by Irish artist Frederick William Burton. This is housed at Dublin's National Gallery in the Republic of Ireland. I fell in love with the story and then discovered the photographs of the painting. The exquisite details like the flower petals scattered on the stairs, the vivid blue of her gown, her long single braid down her back that loops through her belt. The ache in her lover's face as he embraces her right arm is a heartbreaking story of doomed lovers. But because of the watercolor sensitivity to light, it is available for viewing only twice a week, 1 hour each day, on Thursdays and Sundays. This painting plays a significant role in my women's novel, Dry Cappuccinos and Selfies. I can't imagine how I'll feel about actually seeing it in person. I am reminded of the first time I saw the Mona Lisa in 1996. I was physically so close to her, and I remember being so startled I cried out loud, "But you're so little!" And visitors around me in the Louvre chuckled. We all agreed she seemed bigger in our imaginations. Looking at the map of Ireland, it appears that we can travel the width in around 2 hours. I would love to see the Atlantic Ocean from that point of view, having seen it from the East Coast. I love Luke Kelly's version of Song for Ireland. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunsets, asked for more. I stood by your Atlantic Sea, and I sang a song for Ireland. And snow patrols the planets bend between us. I will race you to the waterside, and from the edge of Ireland shout out loud, so they could hear it in America. It's all for you. And this has been all for you, my friends and readers, who have bought, read, and reviewed my books, who have listened to my live chats, who have supported me. Thank you for seeing us to this next phase of our lives, mine and AC's. And thanks for being a part of my final live session here before we launch on this adventure. Stay tuned for more developments, and we're going to be back in October. Speaking of which, we expect to have some updates in the upcoming weeks about the latest book of my Walkerville Desire series, Book 8, called Reflections. It's in the pre-publication polishing process now. Our visual creator is working on cover concepts, etc., etc. So even though my scheduled Wednesday chats will be pre-recorded, it's quite likely we will have updates on the books to pass along during this period, which makes it more important than ever for you to click that red subscribe button and then hit the bell to make sure you get notified when there's an update here on my YouTube page. During the trip, this along with Instagram and Facebook will be the best way we can get information to you, so make sure you're subscribed. And of course, the direct link for next Wednesday's chat is down in the description as well. Hope to see you then, and thanks for joining me.